What is going on, everybody? How is everybody doing today? So, the 2022 season is almost over. Teams have like 10, 11, 12 games left, and I'm going to be reacting to my post-draft night, super fresh in my mind, 2021 NBA draft grades. So yeah, we're gonna see what I was maybe wrong on, what I was right on after the 2021 draft going into this season. We'll see if I know there's one that I think I'm gonna be embarrassed on. It might be the Josh Giddey pick. So we will see when we get to that. If you guys do enjoy these, drop a thumbs up and I can react to all kind of my maybe off-season prediction or kind of grades. I could do my free agency grades. I could do my 2022 season predictions where I thought each team would end up. Like I might react to my first, I just dropped my team ranking video. I could react to my first one from this year. That would be pretty cool. And yeah, I got the green screen behind me. It's actually looking pretty good. This new face cam is looking pretty good. So yeah, clown on me in the comments. I don't remember what I said, so this is going to be new to me as well. Do I look much different? Not really. So let's get into this.
Last night's draft. So what is going on, everybody?
So that's how the draft ended up. I was going into it, I feel like I'm going to be surprised. I know I was surprised Kuminga fell. I think I was surprised on draft night. Barnes went over Suggs. Giddey went 6. I don't know. Maybe Zaire at 10. I was surprised that.
Today, last night's draft was a fun one.
All right, so got the intro video stuff out of the way. Let's get into it.
Won't be good right away. And without further ado, let's get into this. And with the first overall pick in the 2021 NBA draft, the Detroit Pistons selected Cade Cunningham. I'm going to give this an A. The reason I'm not giving it an A+ is because we all knew this was going to happen. So it's not like, all right, you deserve a higher grade because we knew this pick back from when the lottery happened. So the Pistons took the guy they were supposed to take, their franchise guy for the next 5, 8, 10, 20 years. Cade Cunningham, number 1. It's just an easy selection to give an A to. Rockets at 2, I'm going to give this an A as well. They get arguably the best scoring player in this draft, a 3-level scorer with crazy athleticism. He could jump out the gym. And I'm just so excited to see that future backcourt of Kevin Porter Jr. and Jalen Green.
I don't think that's going to be much of the future backcourt. There was some kind of interesting stuff with the coaching staff and Kevin Porter Jr. last night. Yeah, Green has had his ups and downs this year, but I think he's still long-term a great building block and a premier franchise cornerstone down the line. He was my actually rookie of the year pick. I was off on that.
Maybe they'll be able to move John Wall this offseason, if not next offseason, if not the next. We'll see that backcourt play more minutes this year. I love it. It's an A. Like the Pistons pick. Don't think too hard about it. They picked who we all expected to, so I give it an A. Next up at 3, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers taking Evan Mobley. I'm going to give this a B+, just because the fit is a little bit weird with Jared Allen at the moment, and I know when you're picking that high at 3.
Yeah, I wasn't, because I don't know. I wasn't too high on the fit. I also, if we go back to it, I wasn't a huge fan of the Jared Allen extension. Something I've been very wrong about. Very, very wrong about. Because the Allen extension, the only thing I was off about it was 5 years. And the fact that him and Mobley, there was a chance going into the year that they weren't going to be able to coexist. Their playing styles. Obviously, Mobley can adapt to anybody out there. Jared Allen as well. I just thought maybe 2 bigs. Maybe Mobley in this, in the NBA would be more of a 5. And him and Allen wouldn't coexist. I was totally wrong. I'll agree.
In the NBA, you just take best player.
I'll admit it.
Available. You don't take player based on fit, but they did move Colin Sexton. What's going on with him? Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, is it going to coexist? I'm not really sure. I still love the pick. Evan Mobley's a great player, and if he gets that full-time 5 minutes, I'm a big fan. B+, still a great grade. Scotty Barnes here at 4 to the Toronto Raptors was the first big shocker of the night. If you watched my reaction, I was just like, what the hell just happened? I really thought it was going to be Jalen Suggs. I'm giving this pick a B at the moment. B is still a really good grade. I love Scotty Barnes. I just think I would have went Jalen Suggs here if I were the Toronto Raptors. And I'm also a fan of Jonathan Kuminga over Scotty Barnes as well.
So Suggs has had his ups and downs this year. Suggs has not been great at all in his rookie year. Kuminga has definitely shown a lot of promise, but Scotty Barnes, you could say, has been the best player out of any of these this year. Him, Evan Mobley, Cade, Giddey, who we'll get to. Yeah, this was wrong. This should have been an A+. You're getting a top 2, 3 guy at 4. If you're getting a top 3 player in the draft at 4, that's an A+. So at least an A. I thought, I don't know, I was high on Suggs. And maybe the position helps because he's playing in a great system with veterans, and he's not asking to do as much as maybe Suggs is in Orlando, but still, yeah, completely wrong about this
Scotty
one.
Barnes can pass, he can defend, he can run in transition, he can switch. He's just
Yeah, I love Scotty Barnes. I don't know. I like Suggs more.
a really nice playmaking power forward. We'll see what he can do in the NBA with his shooting, because if he can develop a shot, he's going to be a top 3 player from this class. Next up, we have Jalen Suggs going to the Orlando Magic. I'm giving this an A-. Now, not the biggest need fit because they have Cole Anthony, they have Markelle Fultz, they have RJ Hampton, so they have a ton of young backcourt guards, but I think you're just getting a top 4 guy at 5. That's great value. So I'm giving this an A-. I love this pick for Orlando. He will probably be, I think, the best player out of those 3 or those 4 I mentioned in the long term for the Magic. Like, this is someone that can actually turn their rebuild, turn their franchise around. Next up, we have the OKC Thunder taking the biggest shocker in this draft, in my opinion, selecting Josh Giddey out of Australia with the 6th overall pick. I'm going to be giving this a B-. Now, I love Josh Giddey as a player. I just think OKC could do what they love by trading down, acquiring other picks, maybe a couple spots, and still getting Giddey there. I do think it was a reach there at 6. I love Giddey, though. I think he's going to be a great playmaking guard to put next to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Will help Shai's development as well. B- honestly was just because it was a slight reach in my opinion, but I still think that Giddey's a really good player, and OKC didn't really do a bad job by selecting him at 6.
Okay, that actually wasn't that bad. I didn't hate on it too much. I even said, like, I didn't say take Kuminga over him or take James Bouknight over him. I just basically said trade down. So honestly, like, yeah, I gave Giddey a lot of praise. I liked him pre-draft because I liked his playmaking ability. I didn't think he was going to be this good of like a rebounder right away and this physical on kind of inside like on the glass and stuff. But yeah, I liked Giddey. I thought maybe the Thunder should have traded down to like 8 or 9, but maybe the Warriors would have taken Giddey if he was there. That's something I don't know at all. So, you know what? I actually don't feel too embarrassed about that Giddey analysis. Okay, I feel much better now.
Next up at 7, we have the Golden State Warriors selecting Jonathan Kuminga out of the G League Unite. Yeah, this is an A for me. Just getting Kuminga at 7. Oh my god, I can't believe he fell to them. The Warriors had one of the best drafts here in the NBA, and just getting Kuminga, oh my god, coming off the bench, that potential front court of the future with Kuminga at the 4 and Wiseman at the 5 will just be a sight to see.
Sucks we haven't seen much of that this year due to Wiseman's injury, and like Kuminga was bouncing up and down throughout the year, but he's shown so much promise as of late over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, they're getting an A from me. They get a top 5 player, in my opinion, in this class at 7. For a team that's trying to compete for a championship next year. At 8, we have the Orlando Magic. They took Franz Wagner. I'm giving this a B+. I'm glad they didn't go the guard route here because they just had a lot of them, so they get a playmaking win.
And Franz Wagner's been a top 10 rookie this year. He's been an incredible player for the Magic, and obviously they've been very bad. They're not a big market team, but Franz deserves a lot of love.
That can really distribute the ball and can make his teammates better with really not needing the ball in his hand. So I like that pick for Orlando. I think that was a very smart pick. At 9, we have the Sacramento Kings taking Davion Mitchell. Now, I love Davion Mitchell as a player. He was a top 10 player in this class, in my opinion, but I'm giving the Kings a B- for this grade because we know how desperate they are making the playoffs next year. So I was just kind of confused when they took another guard. They have Tyrese Halliburton. They have Hield at the moment. De'Aaron Fox, obviously.
They traded Halliburton and Hield. Didn't expect that. I guess this makes a little bit more sense if you think him and Fox can coexist with Sabonis there at the 4/5. I really wanted Davion Mitchell to be in Nick. Obviously, it was very unrealistic because of how high he went.
DeLon Wright, who obviously shouldn't make you not take Davion Mitchell. I just thought they would go for a wing or trade down or upgrade Schengen because they are going to lose most likely Rashawn Holmes at free agency. What's going on with Marvin Bagley? I love Davion Mitchell. Just to the Kings seemed like a weird fit. Next up, we have Zaire Williams to the Grizzlies at 10, and I'm giving this my first C grade. It's going to be a C+. I don't mind Zaire Williams as a player, but for the Grizzlies, they're a team that's trying to make the playoffs next year. Now, you can look at this and be like, all right, Matt, like they are so deep as it is with John Morant, Jared Jackson Jr., Brandon Clark, Adams, Bledsoe, Allen, Anderson, Bane, Melton, Brooks, etc.
Who is Allen? Oh, Grayson Allen. But yeah, so like for Zaire, because he gave it a C+, so I'll try to kind of say, well, I'll just let myself talk.
Guy to help develop off the end of their bench. I agree, but I think at some point you're going to need to take someone that can help you win now, like a Chris Duarte, like a James Bouknight, like a Corey Kispert. I would have liked a little bit more for them.
So in hindsight, Chris Duarte would have been a great pick, but I think looking back on it, Zaire has shown a lot of promise this year, and James Bouknight hasn't really played a lot, and Corey Kispert has been okay. I wouldn't have probably taken him over Zaire because Zaire has a much higher ceiling. So, yeah, Duarte would have been a better pick. But, like, Zaire, he's not going to probably be relied on too much in the playoffs, if any at all. But he's shown promise this year, definitely. I think He has a very high ceiling, and I think in hindsight, I would definitely change that from a C plus to probably a B plus, and I would probably drop this for maybe a B plus to a C
The
plus.
Hornets took James Bouknight at 11, and I was a fan of this pick. I like the fit next to LaMelo Ball next year, with potentially losing Devontae Graham or Malik Monk, and Rozier might not be that long-term too next to LaMelo. I'm a fan of James Bouknight of Charlotte. At 12, the San Antonio Spurs are getting my lowest grade so far. They are going to get a C- for drafting Joshua Primo.
Still don't like the pick. This was one of my. I just thought it was a reach. I thought you could have traded. I thought you could have gotten at least the Knicks picks at 19 and 21 at the time, and then gotten Primo at 19. It just seemed like a Jerome Robinson type, and I think Primo will end up as a better player than Jerome Robinson. Coming out of Alabama, I don't know, especially with Dorte going right after him.
No, not because I think Joshua Primo was a bad player. I thought he should have 100% been a first-round pick. He was the top 30 player in this draft, in my opinion. I just thought it was a reach. It was a heavy reach. Think he could have been there at pick 20. They could have traded down. Maybe the Knicks would have done 19 and 21, and you get another first-round pick. You could have took him at 19. I just think it was a reach for the San Antonio Spurs. At 10, the Indiana Pacers took Chris Dorte. It's a B for me. Not a flashy pick. Nothing super exciting. It's really what the Pacers do. Somebody that will help them win next year. He's a great shooter, and it's looking like they maybe won't be moving Malcolm Brogdon or Warren or Sabonis. Maybe they'll move Turner, but it's really the Pacers are trying to make the playoffs again next year. Or not again, you know what I mean, be in the playing tournament. With the last pick in the lottery, the Warriors took Moses Moody. Yeah, this is an A- for me. I thought this was a top 10 player in this class, and you got him at 14.
Yeah, Moody's had his injuries this year.
Warriors had arguably the best draft last night. Just getting Kuminga at 7 and Moody at 14. I was just such a huge fan, and I still am, of those two picks. At 15, the Washington Wizards took Corey Kispert. I'm giving it a B-/C+. I love Corey Kispert as a player, but how I mentioned before, like, Kispert was one of those guys he falls into that basket of. I would love to see him go to a contender, somebody that's going to win now next season, and we could see him be like a Desmond Bane was for the Grizzlies this year, or Cameron Johnson, just one of those young guys that go in the lottery. That's a great shooter, even though Bane didn't go in the lottery, and really contend next year. But with trading Russell Westbrook, the Wizards are most likely not going to make the playoffs next year, so I really didn't get the Corey Kispert pick at all, because you want to take somebody that could be a franchise guy for you down the line. Kispert's not going to be that guy. He's a situational player. Now, you might be just adding him there to be a nice piece around Bradley Beal, and you go after somebody in 2022. But I just thought there were so many other higher upside picks you should have taken at 15.
Yeah, that's pretty good analysis. Okay.
At 16, the Thunder traded this pick with the Rockets, and they took Alperen Sengun. I'm giving it a B+. I love Sengun. He's my really second big in this class behind Evan Mobley. Really love the Rockets trading up and getting him there at 16. 17, the Pelicans, with that traded pick from the Grizzlies, got Trey Murphy. Love that.
Love Trey Murphy in this draft. I was super high on him.
Actually, A- grade from me. One of the best shooters and scorers in this class. Is going to be surrounding Zion next year. I love it. Trey Man at 18 to the OKC Thunder. I'm giving it a B. I thought they would go maybe a wing here, but just because they got Taylor Maladon, they had Josh Giddey, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Kemba Walker at the moment.
And this has been a great pick. Man's been phenomenal for pick 18.
Really didn't need another one, but if they move Kemba, it'll make a little bit more sense. Well,
there you go.
19. I can't believe my Knicks traded out of this pick. But yeah, the Hornets traded up and they took Kai Jones. This is getting a B+ for me. I love it. They got Mason Plumlee earlier in the night. They had Kai Jones, who I think was the consensus third best big man in this class. Huge fan of that for Charlotte, a position of need, and they really did give up a lot to get him. With the Atlanta Hawks at pick 20, they took Jalen Johnson. It's an A-, just an absolute steal. A top 15 player in the class for me, and you're getting him at 20 is great value. They're most likely going to be trading Cam Reddish at some point, and he's a hell of a replacement. 21, the New York Knicks traded this pick again with the LA Clippers, and they took Keon Johnson. It's a B+ for me. I think Keon Johnson was a top 10 player in this class, and you got him at 21. An incredible defender, and if you can develop him a shot, yeah, this is going to be the steal of the draft. Great job, Clippers. The Lakers took Isaiah Jackson at 22, but was traded to Washington, later then traded to Indiana. This is going to be a B for me. I like Isaiah Jackson. You gave up 31 and Aaron Holiday to get him. You better hope he's good. 23, the Houston Rockets took Usman Garuba. Like this pick a lot. I'm giving it a B. He'll be a developmental guy. They'll have Schengen. They got Garuba. They got those four big men they're going to have to develop. But I like what's going on in Houston. Speaking of Houston, they had back-to-back picks. They took Josh Christopher at 24. I'm giving it a B as well. I thought Christopher was going to go in the second round. He's a wing with boomer bust potential. Pretty much what you would expect to see in Houston next year and going forward. And then
yeah, I think Houston, like, looking back, they did fine. I think it could have been much worse, so I think it was a good draft. And yeah, you're going to hear me probably hate on this Knicks pick a little bit. I don't know. Quentin Grimes, wasn't somebody who was expecting the Knicks to draft, but the way he's been playing this year, this should have been an A.
Here we are
I'm going to be wrong about
the
this.
New York Knicks at 25. I'm giving this Quentin Grimes pick a B-. I actually like Quentin Grimes a lot as a player, and I think the Knicks need to go out and get a wing. I just really didn't see this whole trading down thing. I thought maybe they could have got him at 32 as well. I like Quentin Grimes. The Knicks did well on this 25 overall pick spot last year with Emmanuel Quickly, so they're probably going to prove me wrong. At 20,
Yeah, and they did.
26, the Denver Nuggets took Bones.
Oh, this is where I should have gave this a high grade.
Rashawn Highland. It's a B for me. He's going to be a crafty scorer off the bench for them. I like it. 27, the Brooklyn Nets selected Cameron Thomas. I love this pick. It's a B+ for me. One of the best shooters in this class. I think he'll be very good in the Nets development staff. And they just traded away Landry Shamet. I like Cameron Thomas even more than Shamet next year. Jaden Springer.
I still stand by that. I think Shamet has been one of the more overrated players in a minute. I still don't know who did he get that extension from? Was it from Phoenix? Or I don't even know who gave him that 4-year deal, but I don't know. I'm not a big Shamet
Sixers
guy.
at 28. Giving him a B, pretty average score here. B's pretty much been my average grade so far. Don't love it, don't hate it. Solid pick. The Nets took Day'Ron Sharpe there at 29. I like the idea of getting a center. Sharpe isn't all right of a pick. I would have liked that they maybe packaged their 2 first to go up and get Kai Jones, which definitely would have been doable. But either way, I'm a big Sharpe guy because I'm a UNC fan, and I don't hate the pick at all. So I'm giving it a standard B. Hopefully this runs DeAndre Jordan out of Brooklyn. And then finally,
He eventually got out of Brooklyn. I've been saying it for a while. DeAndre Jordan just not very good
at
as a
30,
player.
the Jazz traded this pick to the Grizzlies, and they took Santiago Dema out of Loyola. I'm giving this a B-. Thought it was a slight reach there. But Zach Kleiman seems to know what he's doing, obviously, so I'm sure he'll end up as a fine player, as they did well last year at 30 with Desmond Bane. So,
So I don't know. Aldama's still, I don't even, honestly, I feel like I haven't even heard his name, and while I'm on it, I'm I kind of forgot he went 30. Has he even played this year? Yeah, he's, barely played. And then Wymer, I actually do want to see some of these guys, like Zaire Williams. How's he been? Zaire's good. I don't know, he might be in the playoff rotation. I guess you Grizzlies fans would know better than me if he will or not. But yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy. Drop a like if you did. Let me know down below, what I was wrong most about. I guess, I didn't, I don't know. I was a fan of Josh. I think the biggest thing I was on was being too high on Jalen Suggs. I think that's probably the biggest thing I was wrong about. I did say Giddey was a reach, and in hindsight, Giddey maybe should have went, over Suggs. Yeah, definitely. But I guess I liked Giddey as a player. I just thought maybe they could have traded down and get him, which is always something you want to do if you're going to get your player by trading down. Yeah, that's the best possible scenario. But Suggs has been in a weird situation this year. I'm kind of hoping, they got to figure out if him and Cole will be a future backcourt. Will Fultz be kind of a sixth man going forward? I don't know. Orlando's got an interesting offseason, especially with Jonathan Isaac, what's going on with him. And yeah, we'll see kind of what's going on in Orlando. They got some big decisions to make. They're a perfect team for one of the bigs of Chet, Jabari, or Banchero. They're definitely not a Jaden Ivey team. But yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy. Drop a like if you did. Let me know if you want to see more of these down below. I love you guys, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.